Hello everyone. Before starting today video, I do have a question from you. That give me a country name which is most humble and even that country helped their enemies in their bad times. And very proudly I'll give you the name from my side, that is India. And if you do have a different country name, then you can be able to type it in the comment box. But for India, as I have seen since my childhood, that whenever any country has a problem, India went for help through its medicine, through its vaccine in the corona time. As we all know, we have given vaccine to 72 countries and free of cost. With that, wheat and anything that is going to Afghanistan or any other country. Same way here, Sri Lanka thanked India for its help and said when there is no one to help, India came as a brother in front and helped Sri Lanka from its inflation, from oil and food. Everything India is providing right now. And what are the geopolitical issue and the strategic issue we'll understand in this video. Before that, if you have not subscribed to my channel, then subscribe for the better idea about geopolitics, international relation and for the UPSC preparation. So in the news, you can be able to say a lot of things that what is happening, that they're typing everything about India and Sri Lanka relationship, because Sri Lanka Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is the president of Sri Lanka, came in front and loudly said India has helped Sri Lanka to come out of the debt trap policy which is followed by the other countries. He is directly not taken the name, but he has given the name of China in direct way. So in the map, you can be able to see the Sri Lanka is situated so near to India that no one is entire world there, if the problem comes, better to help India to Sri Lanka. As we all know that there is a line called Pak Strait which is connect India and Sri Lanka between these two countries, and that is also known as Ramsetu. So Ramsetu movie recently came. If you have not watched, you can be able to watch it. It's a good movie. But for our concern here, you need to understand that Ramsetu is also known as Pak Strait and Adams Bridge. So Pak Strait better to call it, because in the examination the Pak Strait will be there. And here is the issues of fishermen and the multiple issues India and Sri Lanka has. And as a good friend since the ancient time, when the Ashoka has sent their daughter to Sri Lanka to spread Buddhism over there, and Buddhism is spread all over the world, and that is the reason they have the Sinhala, which is the Pali language, spread all over the Sri Lanka, and they are following Buddhism with the Tamil Hindus. And you can be able to see in the news that President Ranil Wickremesinghe came in front in the parliament, and Wednesday he thanked India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for giving Sri Lanka a breath of life. You can be able to see the word what he is using, a breath of life, by providing timely economic assistance. His country is faced economic crisis in the decades. The present economic crisis Sri Lanka has, that everyone is thinking that Sri Lanka will collapse now and Sri Lanka government will lose. And at that time, India came in front and helped Sri Lanka. That is the word of Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is the president of Sri Lanka. And he even said, I wish he especially mentioned that assistance provided by India, our closest neighbor, in our efforts to the economic revitalization, and with the economy, even the politics over there has been stabilized because of India. In the news, you can be able to see that everywhere they're writing India has provided 4 billion since the January this year. This year only, India has provided 4 billion line of credit to Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka 4-year program with the IMF. And at that time, nobody is like, no country in the entire world came in front that we are the granted, you can be able to give money to the Sri Lanka to the IMF. But India came in front as the name of S. Jaishankar, and he even later written a letter to the IMF that you can be able to give them loan. If they will not return, we will return this. And debt restructuring ongoing would be pursued soon by the IMF because of the Jaishankar word, which has happened just before 2 days when Jaishankar has visited to the Sri Lanka. And even Sri Lanka said, when we try to develop the oil tank complex in Trincomalee in Sri Lanka, at that time with the help of India would be, but that has been stopped by the Chinese funded protest. As we all know, nowadays fourth generation of proxy war happened through the protest and through the propaganda. That is the reason China always try to create a propaganda inside the Sri Lanka so that their people can be able to hate India and the Indian people, and even they can be able to stop the Indian project, and they are very successful in that. They have stopped the oil tank project which is started by India, but now Ranil Wickremesinghe government came and argued the people over there that to support it, and now they are supporting that oil tank will be built again. Just for a moment, if you think think before the crisis, if India would have completed this project, then in Sri Lanka there will be no oil crisis and inflation can be controlled in the very right manner. So India tried to help before also, but they have neglected. But now with the right government, India approach to the right nail, to hit on the right nail, so that Sri Lanka can be able to come out of the debt trap policy, and even for the full oil with the full food, because transportation, we need oil, and oil is the major reason why inflation occurs over there. And with this, when in Sri Lanka before 2 days, Jaishankar has visited over there, there is a huge news about that Sri Lanka is coming out of the debt, because India has sent their man of army that is known as S. Jaishankar. When S. Jaishankar visited over there, there's a lot of talk over strategic calculation to control China and to spread the India right way, what India is doing over there, and to help Sri Lanka to come out of its debt. And as it is said, Sri Lanka coming out of the debt because of India, because here IMF, a letter written by S. Jaishankar to the IMF, and they have even appreciated that we will help Sri Lanka. And with that, if you see, before this year, just in like December and September to December, there are 3 ships visit in the Sri Lanka, and that created a security issue between India and Sri Lanka, because the Chinese ship over there with the vessels of military vessels over there who are doing their research in the Indian Ocean, and that India doesn't like it, and even sent their delegation to stop the Chinese vessels to operate in the Indian Ocean. But as you know that China is always trying its game, and they have the Hambantota port, because of that they can be able to go over there. But Sri Lanka here assured that they will not do research in the near future again, and we can be able to counter the China narrative through the soft and humble approach towards Sri Lanka. What is the significance for India financing assurance? You all are thinking that, okay, India has given IMF to the assurance that will give the loan. But what Sri Lanka in real manner can be able to benefit from that? So International Monetary Fund provided 2.9 billion package to Sri Lanka right now, and after that they are going to give more money, and if those money are supported by China, Japan and India, the adequate financing assurance will be guaranteed in Sri Lanka. Because of that, their people will be again backtrack to the growth. But here you can be able to see China has always neglected since the last year. China is not helping Sri Lanka, because China knows right now whatever we will do, we are not going to be successful to cut out India from Sri Lanka. So that has been assured. That is the reason now China backtracked from the policy and not giving money to Sri Lanka. At that time, India came in front, and Japan, who's, you already know that India good friend, and Japan always try to help India, so that we can be able to go for the neighborhood first policy with the help of Japan here. And the decision of financing assurance was also India belief principle of neighborhood first policy. Always remember these words, because these are the words which is going to be too much important in our examination. And if you can be able to catch these right words and write in your notebook, then you can be able to more effective even in talking. If with any other person you are talking, you can be more powerful in the sense of smartness and thoughtful. Your ideas will be get recognized more better way, so you can be able to type down these words and improve yourself. Here you can be able to see Ranil Wickremesinghe. He wants Sri Lanka again the powerful country which it was before, and much more powerful before than that. And as an Iceland lesson, and no other country nearby it, only India is there to help. That he know very well. But in the past, what happened, when we have war in 1972, at that time Sri Lanka went to help Pakistan, and Pakistan has taken fuel over there. So that is the reason India and Sri Lanka since then not having a good relationship. And the second issue is about the Tamil and the Singla issue. You know that Singla people over there who follow Buddhism doesn't like Tamil, and that is the reason formation of Litte. And after the killing of Litte, the Tamil population somewhat got saturated and politically alienated. Now India want to have them on a single page, so that Sri Lanka flag can be raised with the full manner, with the assimilation of the country in a joint cooperation. With that only, that is the only way that Sri Lanka can be able to grow. How India relations with Sri Lanka, and that thing we have to understand, because we already know that Sri Lanka, we have read this this country name in our ancient books and even till now. India and Sri Lanka, South Asia nations, both are deployed in the South Asia and situated in the Indian Ocean region. With that, geographically, Sri Lanka just on the southern coast of India, separated by Pak Strait. Remember this name, Pak Strait, which is also known as Ramsetu. The proximity has played significant role between shaping relationship between these two countries since the ancient time. And Indian Ocean always a strategic point for China and any other country who want to counter India. They need a good relationship with Sri Lanka, because in the Indian Ocean, if you want to come, you need fuel, food and everything that can be provided by the small countries. And when a small country went for help, China said, okay, you are coming for help, I will give you money, but with money you have to give one more thing: we will spy India, and for that you have to help. So these smaller countries, they don't have that capacity to say no to China. That is the reason they are trapped in the Chinese debt policy that is known as Hambantota Port. As you already know, that has been took for 99 years of the lease, and crossroads for the major shipping lines, and the critical point of control for India is coming from the Indian Ocean, and there the strategically situated Sri Lanka is the only gateway for any other country to track India in Indian Ocean. And for the Maldives, you have already seen that what India is done right now. India backtracked the Maldives policy to the right way, and now Maldives are growing again and coming out of China debtor policy, and that is seen by Sri Lanka very well, because in the recent they are monitoring what China is doing, and in bad time they are helpful or not. At that time they didn't came, but India came with the full prod. And with that, if you know about trade, foreign direct investments from India amount for the USD 1.7 billion from 2005 to 2019 for an island nation, for such a small nation, it is very huge. And defense, India and Sri Lanka have joint military exercise that is known as Mitra Shakti, and the naval exercise that is known as SLINEX. So with these two names, if you are preparing for UPSC civil services, then you must know these names. Mitra Shakti is the joint military exercise, and naval exercise name is SLINEX. With that, here you can be able to see this is the Hambantota port in China. China developed in Sri Lanka. And when they have developed, they said that, okay, we are developing, you can be able to have the benefit. And later when Sri Lanka cannot be able to pay the debt, at that time what they have done, okay, you cannot pay the money, then give me the port for 99 years lease. Just think about this 99 years lease in these days. If someone is taken your land, that means that is of no use for the 100 years, and that went to the other country. That is the China debt type policy, which is understood by Sri Lanka very well. Here India have one more concern, and that India has argued very carefully to Sri Lanka that please look for it, and look for our people who are situated in your country, that is known as the Tamil people in Sri Lanka. As we all know that 25% of the Sri Lanka population is populated by Tamil, and after the Tamil population, when the 13th amendment came in Sri Lankan constitution, that emphasizes that devolution of necessary power for the all people, that means all geographically people situated in the Sri Lanka can be able to have the benefit, and they will get equality, justice and peace, respect within the Sri Lanka, and that is not happened till now. So that is the reason India has said that implement 13th amendment completely and give to the other language value also. Like you cannot have only one official language, that is Sinhala. Please promote the Tamil and the Tamil population to the government job and every atmosphere, so that you will have equality in the right manner and country can be able to prosper in the future. So guys, how do you like the video? This is the end of the video. If you like the video, then like it and subscribe it, and if possible share it, so that it can be able to spread to the lot of people, and I will get really happy if you can be able to do this, because everybody needs appreciation. Thank you guys.